Well, I don't hear anything.
I have the volume down, but I have the video playing right now.
How intense he looks.
Dr. Wowie.
Yeah, he looks very intense.
Evil energy.
And he came back from the dead.
And there's Dr. Wowie. Mega Man?
Okay, so now what?
La-dee-da-da.
At first I thought he said la-dee-da-die, which would at least be threatening despite his voice.
La-dee-da-die.
But it was just la-dee-da-da, like, just brushing him off.
Do you want to try doing an emphatic entrance now? Hey everybody, I am Player 1 and my name is Damien. Welcome to another Retro Game Night. I am joined with Player 2, Kyle.
Heyo.
Player 3, Josh.
I got promoted.
And Player 4, Ben.
Got to keep that headset on your head.
Yeah, you got to keep it on your head, buddy. Sorry. And we are here to chat everything all about things in retro gaming, and sometimes we sneak in some new stuff too.
Just a little bit.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Yeah. Dude, researching this topic.
Which one?
What we're getting into tonight, which is
Evil voice acting.
Evil and
Evil.
bad voice acting.
Evil and what?
Bad voice acting.
Evil and bad.
It's so bad, it's evil.
Evil?
How could they have released this to us? Really? Really?
Hey, sometimes it's so bad, it comes around to being good.
Correct.
So before we get into it, Damien, you just came back from WonderCon. How did that go?
Hey, you were there too, you know.
Yeah, just for a day, but you were all three.
Yeah. It was great. We did our networking thing. We passed out a lot of cards, met a lot of people.
Saw a pretty awesome band. As soon as we heard them announce their names, we're just like, we got to find out if that's retro gaming.
We got to talk to you about something. Yeah, it was great. Caught up with a lot of friends, and we were able to also talk with some people regarding our podcast, and people were really receptive to it. They were really liking this whole idea of what this was, and getting into talking the discussion of what they liked, what they thought was too hard to play or finish. And that was a lot of fun to do that. I was really, really exhausted the last day, though, of WonderCon. I was really out of it. I think all those days just kind of kicked my butt a little bit, and it was good, but it was a lot.
A day of promoting, late night of partying, and then right back to it the next day, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. What did you think, Kyle?
Yeah, it was really awesome, being able to go. My wife was there, too, and she was dressing up. She does some cosplay with some other people that we know that go there. Really good reception. I mean, the cosplay community is so great.
Yeah.
I know she was dressed up as Elastigirl, and she came out from one of the panels, and from literally across the way was another Elastigirl, and they both were just like, "Oh my gosh, it's over here!" And went over. They had to take pictures with each other.
Yeah.
It was pretty awesome.
Cosplay was really good this year. I must say, I liked everyone's costumes that I saw. I didn't get a chance to really talk to any, except for what's his name from Good Burger.
Oh yeah,
I did talk to him.
Keenan, Keenan dressed up as the "Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Man, take your order."
He did a really good job.
Keenan or Kel?
Kel.
Yes.
It was Kel. Yeah, Kel did it.
It's both. A little column A, a little column B.
Yeah. But yeah.
He even had a burger for a backpack.
Yep.
And would put it down. And then what was really funny, one of the times was a little girl was going up, was like, "Oh my gosh," like the burger on the floor. And he goes, "Dude, did you just see that? She just tried to take my burger." It was great.
Yeah, he did a really good job.
And he was that for like 2 days, wasn't he? Didn't you say that he
Yeah.
was there again on Sunday too?
Yeah, I think I
wonder
saw
if
him
it
the
was
last
Friday.
day, and I went up to him and said, "Hey, I already saw you, but I got to get a quick selfie with you. Good job."
He didn't break character for that, right?
Nope.
He stayed
Nope.
his
He
character.
talked about his character while in character.
That's awesome.
That was great.
Yeah, I also had a costume to be able to dress up as, but I was only there for 1 day, so was trying to do some networking for the podcast and didn't really want to dress up quite yet for it. Plus, I think I got a pretty good idea of what I want to do to kind of tweak it a little bit, make it a little bit more funny. So maybe next time I'm gonna try to go for like 2 days. That way I can just be regular Kyle, you know, doing some stuff for the podcast, and then the next day be able to go with my wife, do a little dress up and have a little fun with it. So
Yeah.
I think it'll be pretty
That's
cool.
the nice thing. You get to go meet other cosplayers, and you don't have to feel like embarrassed or what you're dressed up as, or being in character and acting silly, because everybody there is just way into this. When they see other people like that, they just get all jazzed, and it's infectious.
Plus, I think me and Damien also have a pretty cool idea for the next time we go to a con. We're going to bring our recording gear.
Yes.
And we're going to try to grab some interviews from some of you guys out there to
Yeah.
see what your favorite games are, what your favorite experiences are, what it reminds you of. A little bit here, a little bit there, and to try to see if we can get some interviews going. I think that'd be kind of cool.
That would be awesome. I mean, we talk about our retro games and what they mean to us, but I think it'd be great to reach out and just, put people on the spot and just say, what is the game that you love most? Let's get into it. Why? Like you were saying, all those things. And I think that's great, because then it gets everyone involved, which is what we feel here doing this, which is we get involved with these old games, what it means, and then we get to see what they say. And then sometimes they give us good feedback, maybe to what to talk about next.
And we appreciate all the reviews that we get online, but this will be another way for anyone out there listening, or even people that may not know us yet, to be able to have a little bit of a say and get in on the retro gaming topics.
Yeah, absolutely. I look forward to that. It'd be
Yeah,
great.
it'd be pretty cool. So, back to it. We're going to be going into some bad voice acting. And I'm going to start us off here. I don't know if a lot of you may not know it yet, but I am pretty big into the Mega Man games. When we started going through our retro games, I decided to pick Mega Man as one of my game picks and going through it, because I just remember so many great things from it. And I think the next time we get together to play some, I think we're on Mega Man 5 now.
5, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I've been going through the series, and when I was looking through it, revisiting back to X7 and just remembering some of the different X games, and I didn't remember how bad the voice acting was in that game.
Yeah.
It's pretty horrific. I mean,
And that's the thing with back then when we heard it, it was like whatever, I mean, we didn't have the bar rate so high the way it is now.
right. And Josh brought up a good point. We were talking a little bit off mic about this, which is when you're in the game, you're focused on the game. You're focused on the story and what's going on. You're not really judging or really paying attention too much of the voice acting. But really, when you look at it, it's really like, wow, it's really bad. And X7 is known for how bad it is. And so let me give you a little bit
Give it to us. Let's
of
see.
a preview of what that sounded like.
Don't call me a kid. I ain't that no more. If you keep misbehaving, you won't get your snack.
Wow.
It's pretty bad.
Wow.
It's pretty bad. This is
Take your snack.
And who is that supposed to be?
that's a conversation between a character that was introduced in this called Axel, and he was talking to one of the bosses called Gungaroo. And Axel used to be a member of the Red Army that was part of the Bad Robots, that he left the army and became a hunter. And in this game, you get to bounce back and forth between, in the beginning, only Zero and Axel. So you didn't even start as Mega Man yet. You don't even get him in the game, because he's known as the legendary X Hunter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you get him later on in the game. But what's interesting about this game is that as you're playing it, you get to cycle through your different party members, which is kind of cool. And
Yeah.
each interaction with the bosses will depend on who you have as your main character going into the boss, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But here's a little something too that it's not necessarily voice acting, but just what they did with the sound effects of the game. And this is the sound effects from the Gungaroo boss. I would kind of consider that maybe a little bit of bad voice acting. Using
Yeah,
a
I
voice
think so.
for some sound effects. I mean, it's pretty bad.
Might have been having fun with it.
Yeah.
But it's just something that you don't really ever think about. Plus, this little one,
Hi, Nard?
kind of out of the blue. I forget what that actually.
Wait. Play that
That's
play
still
that
from
again.
there?
Who? Wait, what did he say?
Okay,
Hi, Nard?
Heinard?
Hi, Nard?
So was there a character named Heinard? What's going on here?
the
Location.
description of it says, yes, he really said it. The good news is that another character says this in a less embarrassing fashion. Hi, a Nard, which of course is as much better a name than Dick.
He'll leave it at that, I guess.
So I guess Hi Nard is a better name, so I guess that's a name of a boss. I haven't reached that part yet in the game to find out what Hi Nard is. But it kind of sounds like Axel kind of says that a little bit. I'm not sure. But it's just such a weird one. Plus, okay, so there's another boss that Zero comes to. And he's like a monkey type boss. And this is what he has to say when Zero approaches him.
So, you are Zero, the grace of whose attacks is like no other.
It's kind of a combination between bad voice acting and just bad writing.
But I'm admiring how deep this guy's voice went.
Yeah, listen to that.
So, you are Zero, the grace of whose attacks is like no other.
They call me Monkey Man.
It's
Yeah, pretty good, Ben.
Yeah.
Colonel, this is Snake.
a little bit, yeah, it does sound like that a bit. So
Same direction.
everybody knows from X7 that it's a pretty bad voice acting game. Gameplay wise, it's pretty good. I mean, feels like the gameplay has kind of slowed down a little bit in comparison to the NES versions. It feels like that one's a lot more fast paced or a lot more responsive. The SNES games are still there. The controls are still pretty good, but once you got into the PlayStation games and they started to try to do like 3D level models and stuff like that, it kind of felt like it's not saying that it didn't slow down in responsiveness, but it just feels slow.
I definitely consider X7 the low point of the series.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And why do you consider that the lowest
I
point?
just don't have good memories of it. Trying to force the 3D aspect into it didn't work for me. X8 was a lot better.
I don't remember much of X7. I have played it, but was the music any good? I mean, let's face it, Mega Man is known for the music.
Not memorable that I can bring up into my mind.
So music wasn't great, and the
It's pretty
gameplay
cool.
was different.
I can't remember. Maybe it was okay, but I don't remember being terrible. But yeah, it doesn't.
Didn't stand out.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
They have some really weird parts in it where you are 2D, and then in the upper right corner, it has two icons. It has a camera icon and a 2D, 3D icon. And the 2D, 3D will change depending on if you're...
Like where in the level you're at.
Yeah, where in the level you're at. If you're side-scrolling, there's a part in it where it does go behind the character, and you're following him, and you're doing some platforming and doing stuff like that. And they consider that the 3D part of it. And then they'll also change the camera part to where you'll be able to rotate the camera around in a full 3D style map. When you're playing as Axel and as Mega Man, you also get an auto targeting reticle to be able to aim your target while you shoot, and you have a button to be able to switch in between what you're aiming at. But it's a lot to keep track of when you're playing it. It really is.
So that early 3D, then having to forcibly rotate the camera, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, when it's been several years since I played through it, but yeah, it just didn't work well with me. The only of the original series in X, like any kind of 3D that really worked for me was Command Mission. Was a really good game.
Do we not like the idea of Mega Man in 3D? Is that what we're kind of saying here?
Not necessarily for me, because I did end up like I say, Command Mission was a really good game in my opinion, and I did like the two Legends games and Tron Bonne.
And those were 3D?
Totally 3D.
Okay, because I don't know if I like the idea of Mega Man in 3D.
I originally didn't. But back when they first came out, I was like, what is this?
I could see maybe a 2.5, but a full 3D just feels weird to me.
I actually liked Mega Man Legends, which is a full 3D RPG style version of Mega Man. That was really cool.
That was on PlayStation, right? or
Yeah,
was it
and PSP.
and PSP?
PSP is actually updated, but they updated the controls to make it smoother, but it never came out in the US or anything. Oh, and it wasn't N64, the first one.
But the PSP is region free, so technically you could purchase it.
But in Japanese, yeah.
In Japanese, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
One game that I wanted to bring up. Now, for me, I don't have a lot of experience with voice acting in video games. Kind of got a little late into the PlayStation era, so one that really kind of stood out to me was Final Fantasy X. Now, little disclaimer, I do enjoy this game. I had a lot of fun with it.
it is a good game.
Yeah, and I feel like, I don't know, it's the same problem that many of us face when we're looking back at some of these games. Kyle already mentioned that a little bit about the first time we play through a new game, especially when it keeps pushing the boundaries of technology and what we see in video gaming. We really don't see a lot of the flaws. You know, we're kind of looking through it through rose-colored glasses,
Right.
so to speak. And so sometimes when we look back, then little things like the voice acting kind of stands out to you. I know a lot of people like to put a lot of emphasis on that goofy laughing scene, but it was really meant to just be kind of a goofy part of the game. But when you really look at some of the other voice acting, it's not that great.
Wait, you're talking about where he starts laughing and it sounds like Ricky Ricardo from I Love Lucy?
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of people like to focus on that, but when you really look at a lot of the game, it really just it really feels like they just locked the voice actors in a room, gave them a script. They didn't tell them anything about the scene and what they were supposed to be feeling, their motivation, the context of what they were doing, and they just it sounded like we'll throw in the music and we'll just increase the tempo a little bit and that'll bring the edge in there.
So you think it's either... So what you're saying is not that it's a lack of effort, but more of a lack of visuals to the actors?
Direction.
It could be that.
Yeah.
I mean, that was actually an idea I was going to throw a little later into the game, where you probably have some really good voice actors out there who really try to sell it, but then you have some lackluster producer or director going, no, you need to tone it down a little bit.
Yeah.
And then people kind of lose that energy, their mojo to
Momentum.
Now, and I
momentum.
feel it's kind of like not an excuse with Final Fantasy in particular, because it comes out in Japan first initially, from my understanding, and so then by the time it gets to North America, they have the game, they have footage they could play during the part, and for them to still sound like that, it just, I don't know, doesn't add up for me. They should bring up they should bring up the bar much more at that point once it's here.
I agree, and for a company as big as Square, I think were they still SquareSoft? And
Yes.
I believe it was Squaresoft still.
yeah.
Before Squeenix.
Yeah, they should have had the popularity, they should have had the pull, they should have had the money, the direction to be able to make sure that they're putting in a full
I would excuse
product.
it. I would excuse it if it came out the same time as it did in Japan, and I'm not sure about that, so I'm going to look this up right now.
Okay.
I don't remember if this one.
I think it did back then.
I think most Final Fantasy games came out first in Japan.
Well, there's more games coming out now at the same time these days, it seems like. But back then, pretty sure that Final Fantasy X was one of those games where it came out in Japan, and then maybe several months later came out, was translated.
Josh, you have that clip for us?
Yes, I have one clip in particular. Let's listen in.
Now there's a rare sight.
Whoa, that's huge!
What is that?
The guardian worm, Evray. The great sacred beast, protector of Bavel.
The red carpet has teeth.
Wait, that means we're close to Bavel.
Riku, you read me! We're gonna fight that thing! Get on deck and show him what you got!
Wow.
Orin sounds like Orin, just
Yes.
doesn't give a crap about anything.
I'll say Orin sounds kind of like a badass, though.
Yes.
Honestly, out of the
What
other
is
voice
that
actors,
thing?
yeah.
Yeah, Oren will give a pass. You know, he's the the 30-year-old old guy in the video games.
Yeah, while Titus is 17.
Right.
And Titus.
Titus
too.
or Titus.
Yeah.
Depending
on which way you sway.
I just can't say Titus.
No,
Dissidia.
you just did.
Dissidia.
Dissidia can go fly a kite for all.
I'm gonna write Squaresoft. I'm gonna ask them.
So a little more context while we get that information. Now they're on their way to save Yuna from her forced wedding to the bad guy who just keeps reappearing throughout the entire game, Seymour. And as they're reaching their destination, this giant dragon comes out. And so,
huzzah!
Yes, and that is their expression. It's so lackluster. There's no fear, energy. What? There's.
Oh my, a dragon!
But they could have at least tried.
So I did pull up the information. It came out, surprisingly, in Japan in July of 2001, and then December of 2001 in North America.
Okay.
But one of the things that could be is how many hours. I mean, looking at this thing, there's 11 hours of footage that they have to voice act. If they only have a couple months to do that, it could be possible where they're on that time crunch where they're just trying
That's the time crunch thing. Yeah.
Maybe they just showed stills.
Maybe, yeah, and that I don't know, and I feel like there's something to be said there for when there's time crunches, because that just takes down the quality. You're just rushing through things, and they're not feeling the character; they're just reading lines at that point.
Right, and got to give credit to Dan's G08 for being able to compile this 11 hours from the HD version of the game.
Yeah.
So it's 11 hours worth of voice acting.
And this is just a little snippet of it that we're playing. We're not going to play any more than this because it's pretty much the same thing throughout the entire game.
Yeah.
You just have this music that they'll bring up the tempo a little bit just to kind of, this is an intense scene.
Like that?
Exactly, but it's a little slower at first and then it raises up. But the voice acting, they don't change in their volume, their expression, their attitude. It's just like they're reading from a script.
I want to go eat a sandwich. Oh no, there's a dragon.
Let's go kill that thing. And that's essentially what it is.
Except for Waka, yeah?
Yeah.
Besaid, yeah.
Besaid, yeah. Let's go play some baseball, huh?
Every time I hear Waka, I just start laughing now.
I always think of Fozzie Bear. Waka?
Yeah.
Waka!
I thought that the first time I ever saw the name. But I mean, I like his character. It just sounds too silly for me.
I could never take him seriously as a character.
Yeah?
Because you first get him in the very beginning of the game, and he's a blitzball character. He's a blitzball player.
Right. In real life, blitzball players are not.
Yeah, they're weaklings. What is he going to do? He's going to kick a ball into a face of an enemy? What's that going to do? It's just going to irritate them even more and make them want to go after you even more.
I just say now
that's in real life.
Now that we're on that subject with blitzball, I got to give credit here. That scene in the beginning, the concept of blitzball is kind of cool. I like that. I really like it.
If people had gills.
If they had gills, yeah. But they didn't have gills, right?
Yeah, they just held their breath for like 10 minutes at a time.
Yeah,
and played.
Okay, it's a Final Fantasy.
Different universe, different
it.
physics.
No. It's oxygen-rich water, and they're able to breathe underwater.
Yeah, have fun with that.
So it's magic water.
That's actually being developed right now in real life.
Magic spring water.
It's being developed right now for people to be able to dive deeper underwater.
Well, how do they... I mean, they just have more oxygen in the water?
Yeah, literally that's the only reason why our lungs can't pull the oxygen or can't survive because it can't pull the oxygen out fast enough in normal water.
Unfortunately, how is that even physically possible? Because with mass and all that water going in your lungs, how could...
And it's still water, it doesn't flow.
Yeah.
Look it up on YouTube.
Well, unfortunately...
because it's on YouTube, I believe everything, yeah.
Unfortunately, there's no test subjects left to actually speak up about the results.
They do have animals breathing underwater. Just saying.
Yeah, they're called fish and crabs, and,
rats,
raccoons with gills. Cross mixing. I don't know.
Hey, look it up for yourself. I'm just telling you what science is doing right now, and what could be the explanation for blitzball. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
breathing underwater. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys remember Mega Man 8?
Who doesn't?
Yeah, because that was a big hit. Check this out. Check this out. I know you want to hear this.
You must recover all the energy immediately, Mega Man.
But where is Dr. Wily?
That's a good question. We may be able to locate another energy emission from the radar room. When we find that meteor, we'll find Dr. Wily.
Okay, it sounds like
Pretty sure they got Mel Blanc to play him.
He forgot the name of Mega Man, the main character.
Mega Man?
No, I think he went to the dentist and he must have had some gar still stuck in his mouth.
He just sounded like he was pausing, like, wait, what character am I supposed to...
You know,
Mega Man.
That's a good question.
You must recover all the energy immediately, Mega Man.
Mega Man.
Where is it, Doctor?
Dr. Wowie.
Dr. Wowie.
And then what's up with Mega Man's voice?
That was him in there?
Yeah, listen.
No, that was Roll.
Was that Roll?
I think.
Yeah,
I thought
that
that was
was
Mega
Roll.
Man.
I don't remember him in this clip.
But where is Dr. Wily?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's...
I thought that was Mega Man.
It might be.
I hope
can't
that
remember
is
now.
Roll.
It sounds like a female, though. to
I think
me.
they did get a female, though, to play
Oh,
Rock
they
in
did?
that game, yeah. I think.
Really?
While you guys talk about it, I'm going to look up a video just to see, because I know...
That is
I was playing through this game, and I remember that clip being Mega Man, but if I could be wrong, so let me look it up.
I gotta say, that is a good question.
It is a good question.
It's a good question,
no,
Dr.
it's
Wily.
question.
Question.
Question. That's a good question. Wowee. That is a good question.
Oh my goodness.
It was Mega Man.
It's
That was Mega Man.
I'm sure it's
That was
Roll
Mega
talking
Man.
in the background, and Mega Man is just humming a tune.
Or Roll is cosplaying as Mega Man.
There you go.
So that was literally Mega Man's voice right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did
Yeah, that-
higher pitch back then. So
I mean, it
Wow.
I
sounded...
knew that, but I didn't. I was thinking that was Roll.
It was
though.
really high pitched, though, for Mega Man. I mean, I don't picture him sounding like that.
Is that Gohan?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Gohan when he was a little kid. Where's my daddy?
Whoa, that thing. It's just like the one I gave to Dr. Light.
Yes, this is what you people call evil energy. Based on my studies so far, the one who obtained the original energy must be a being of complete evil.
The one who
Can you
obtained-
sound
did
any
I?
more bored?
Okay, so again, that was Mega Man talking
Yeah.
to in the very beginning of the game. You're seeing these two forces fighting in space, one blue and
one good and one bad.
Yeah, exactly. And the other voice that we hear in that one, the main one that's talking in it, is supposed to be the good robot. Doesn't sound heroic at all or anything. Just so like, we got to go do this over here. Let's
Here's
go
what's
do
going to
it.
happen, Mega Man.
Yeah.
See, there's this bad robot. See, I'm this good robot here, and stuff's going to happen. World's going to end. It's going to be a mess.
I'm gonna go deal with this over here. Can you go do that
and
over,
deal over
there?
there.
That would be great. Thanks.
Yeah. FYI.
All right, I got one more.
Barrier prohibits me from going there. I'll destroy the rest of the evil energy that has spread throughout the earth. You search and destroy the energy sources for that barrier.
So it's recorded in the bathroom.
The energy sources. The energy sources.
I thought I heard a plop.
Yeah, that acoustics.
That's great.
Sorry.
Record it.
Quick, flush it.
That's great.
I've been actually playing this game. It's a really good game. I've been really enjoying it. And it's the first time.
So it is a good game to you?
Yeah, I really like it. It was the first one.
I'm going to have to disagree. I think it is a good game.
I don't remember it being such a great game. I haven't revisited it in a while.
I really enjoyed it. It was much better than 7,
but
in my opinion.
Then this is my problem with 3D. So I think I do have a problem with Mega Man 3D.
They didn't do 3D on this one. This
It
one
wasn't 3D?
No, they just added the animation. This is the first time of them doing voice acting or any type of video in between the different stages.
I'm remembering what I'm thinking of. It was Legends. That's the one I tried that I didn't like.
Which is full 3D.
That
which,
was
once
full
again,
3D.
I didn't like
Yeah.
that one at the beginning when it first came out, but years later I kept hearing good things, tried it, fell in
Is
love
that
with
that the one that came out for N64?
It did.
Okay.
Along with
Yeah, it had a
PS1
version
and
for it.
PSP.
It was originally for PS1.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this one, like I said, it was the first time they tried voice acting on the game. It's the first time that they put an anime style story to it and to try to really expand it. So I think it was
And answer the question.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it was their first time trying to do this, and they just didn't hit the mark with it. But at least they tried something different. They tried something cool, and the rest of the other games going up did okay with it until X7.
And fun fact, the Saturn version has a few extras on it. If I recall, you can play against some of the original Mega Man bosses. But I haven't really played it much, so I can't comment too much on that. And it even has the music and everything.
And I haven't beat it yet, but I'm playing it on the Switch version for the Legacy Collection that came out for that, so we'll see what I'm able to do. Interesting about that one, though, you can't rewind on it on the Switch. There's no rewinding features.
Oh, is it maybe because of the animation?
I don't know. Maybe the animation, maybe because it's PlayStation. Because on X7, you can't rewind either.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm not sure.
But you can still do save states, right? Or no?
I'm not sure about that one. I think maybe you can with 8, but maybe not X7.
I haven't gone through that collection yet.
I haven't played them all yet to find out which ones you can, which ones you can't. I know going up to 8, I think you still can rewind and do save states and all that. But
yeah,
I do recall in the very last level having a lot of trouble. I think it was literally the very last level. That could use some rewind.
I think that's much better than save states. I way prefer rewind.
Yeah, if I had to choose between the two.
But now also this comment will also include Josh's clip too with Final Fantasy X. Is that we're getting these remakes and these remasters of these games coming out for modern day consoles, and to be able to revisit these games again after we've beaten them, after we have this nostalgia factor for the old game, to then put it back in to start playing it again and to experience that game again, we're starting to be able to really see this voice acting because we're coming to it with a different mindset. And I think that's why this stuff is popping out to us so much lately.
It is. Yeah, it's definitely, the bar has been raised, and now any game that's revisiting from our youth is just, we expect the same quality, you know?
Or it's just a higher up, we expect more out of it, but then, because nostalgia makes it that much better, but then we look at it again, we're just like, man, did it really sound like this? That's really bad.
Exactly. Speaking of raising the bar, Ben, I know you have some great games ahead for us. You did send a bunch of clips to us over text over the last couple weeks when we were discussing this topic.
Yeah.
And, oh man, some of those just...
It's gotten us rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you find some of these, Ben.
Grew up with a lot of them. Not all of them, but...
Yeah, I was going to say, or even just remembering them all.
Yeah.
That's the thing, yeah. Remembering every single one of those.
This first game I was going to show, it's mainly just this one clip at the very beginning of the game. A little background on it. It's actually one of my top favorite RPGs of all time. And it's back from the early 90s on the TurboGrafx CD. It's actually related to a modern day series called Trails of Cold Steel that people are getting into these days. And that's a Legend of Heroes game, and this is as well. This is Legend of Heroes Dragon Slayer. And here's a brief clip of that.
A fine morning to you, my lord.
Good morning, Elias.
Ah, my dear Prince Logan. I understand from the gate guards that you're still indulging in slime bashing. I hardly think that such a childish pastime befits one who is destined to inherit the throne in just 2 more months. As I've said time and time again, the future is shaped by knowledge. I'm sure you'll agree that your time would be better spent in study rather than chasing those ghastly green jelly globs. Now, if you'll pardon me for a moment, I'll go and get my books so that we can commence with your studies.
You can't catch me, Lucky Charms.
Good evening, my lord. Good morning, my lord.
Oh, I thought you said hi, Nard. I thought we figured out who that was.
No, it was lord. Good morning, my lord.
So, did that
2 more months.
Did that have a option for subtitles? Because I have no idea what some of that said.
It does have subtitles.
Oh, thank goodness.
So you can watch and listen. You can watch and listen at the same time.
You can enjoy the bad voice acting while still being able to follow the story.
Correct.
That's great.
And in general, I love the voice acting in it. Just, I don't feel it's as bad as people say it is, but just the game is really cool. It even has a guy who, funnily, one other funny thing, he sounds like Humphrey Bogart. Here's the clip.
Are you the guys that freed us? This is just the beginning. I won't rest until I've freed my kingdom from the evil clutches of that accursed Drax. Wait a second. Who are you?
Hey, watch your language, fella. You're talking to the Crown Prince himself, Logan of Falling.
No kidding. A real prince.
Hey,
How
sweetheart.
about that? Well, my name's Giles, and I also got a bone to pick with Drax. You mind if I tag along and give you a hand?
Giles? You wouldn't happen to be related to that ill-reputed cut purse, Magic Fingers, Giles, now would you?
I'd be a richer man if I was.
If you'll excuse me for saying so, Prince, I think we're doing all right so far. Being that that's the case, we don't need this guy.
Hey, butt out, boy. I'm talking to His Highness, not his lackey. Come on, Prince. What do you say?
I say no.
There's no point in arguing amongst ourselves. Our enemy is Drax, and if Giles is willing to join us, well, we do need all the help we can get.
My thoughts exactly. You won't regret your decision, Your Highness.
So
I'm looking at the
that's
screen.
definitely voiced by Mo from Three Stooges,
As
right?
Humphrey Bogart.
I only see 2 sprites in there. How many people were actually talking in that?
No, there was 3. I think one was in front. There was one in front of the other.
It just looked like only 2 people were on the screen, and yet they were talking to like a party of 30.
No, it was 3 people. But yeah, I love how he sounds like Humphrey Bogart throughout the whole game. Yeah, yeah, sweetheart. I'm a Highness. Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, yeah.
Is that Humphrey Bogart, or is it
Is it
Cagney?
That's a different. Yeah, that is a different. But they remind me of a little bit. Yeah, yeah. See. And then one other scene that I completely forgot about that I was just reminded about, and here it goes.
What you want?
I am Logan, Crown Prince of Farlane. I hereby order you to release all prisoners slaving in the pits.
I hereby order you to la-dee-da-da. Give me a break. Baron Drax has got a reward on your head that's astronomical. And if anybody's gonna collect it, it's gonna be me.
I order you to la-dee-da-da. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
I love it.
And this, which game was this again?
Legend of Heroes Dragon Slayer.
Wow, that's really bad.
Yeah. Tons of voice acting in it.
What year was this made?
92.
92.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's still
Well,
pretty
I have
early
no-
for voice acting.
I have no comment on that. That's just wow.
I love it.
Well, I mean, this must have been the early days of voice acting for video games, really.
Most video
Right?
games had bad voice acting in general those days.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would assume the first wave of games probably sounded really bad.
Pretty
looking
much
back.
got, whatever janitor they could find to play this role or that. Yeah. The maybe perhaps, I don't know, a Girl Scout comes by and like, hey, you want to do some voice acting for a little girl? Okay. I don't know. It just the filler
Just
brush
say
man
these lines.
comes and, hey,
Okay.
just say this and you can leave. And yeah.
Hey, mister, do you want to buy some cookies? Well,
Hey, mister.
I can't pay for it, but be in my game and I'll take some.
Here, go ahead and pay yourself some cookies for it.
All right, so I'll take it back over, and I got another game for you guys here. So, do you remember back when you go play in arcades, and every so often you would hear a game being played in the background, and you had no idea what it was, but the voice acting was just so bad? Something like this.
I've been waiting for you, friends.
Wow.
Fire bad.
Okay, at first I thought you were talking about Dance Dance Revolution, but
We're going further back than that.
Oh, no. So, I spent a bunch of time in the arcade playing that game, and you would hear people playing this game all the time. You would hear the demo of it going through and just hearing the different sounds like this one.
The car's parked in the city square, the top floor, building at point A0063. He's there.
Constipated Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, okay. Now let me tell you what you're gonna do.
I'm dying, but with my last breath,
With my last several breaths,
I will tell you my life story.
as I die.
How about this?
Don't know, but it's very similar to the 1998 Curian case. James, go and prevent the confusion in the city.
Thank you very much.
Don't know.
Don't know.
Don't know.
So what's going
So-
on in this clip?
So, if you don't know it already, this is the game called House of the Dead 2.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
The House of the Dead.
I don't remember it being like that.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's pretty bad. The opening sequence has that, and then after each boss, it has a little sequence of some story going on.
The House of the Dead. That's the title screen. I always would hear that in the background.
It's
And like,
just
the House of the Dead.
It's just so bad. So the dead are getting up and walking around, and hey, go over here and take care of that.
That must have been seriously no visual for these people. It was just literally a room, a booth, and just lines.
Or it was like one of those like machines that go, hello, I am what
a word processor.
Yeah,
or something like that.
You're quite good at turning me on. That kind of
What's the one thing where it's you punched in like a sentence and you would
Speak
hit
and spell?
Yeah, the speak and
Speak and
spell.
spell,
It's
yeah.
a speak and spell. That's what that thing is.
That's what it is. That's a good
no.
voice actor right there.
At least it didn't sound like it was recorded in a restroom.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Like Bill Clinton that was previously.
But what's interesting about this game is that it showed how small of a budget they had by taking voice acting that they already had recorded and then changing the pitch of it to make it seem like somebody else. And here is a clip that demonstrates that.
Don't come! Don't come! Don't come! Don't come!
All they did was lower the pitch.
All they did was just lower the pitch.
And
They
then
used the
use a
same
different
source.
character.
Yeah. And then there you go. So they could literally do just generic things as like screams or like that one, don't come. Like, hey, don't come over this way. And then the screen would turn because this is a rail cart shooter.
So here's a completely different person.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
they're saying the exact same thing to you. Don't come over here.
I also wonder this. I wonder how many stories there are from voice actors that they've voiced for anything, even animation, where they had no idea what they were voicing. Like it was just like, I just took this gig because it was going to pay and I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just going to read this.
Yeah, probably in the past they probably had that a lot, but modern stuff I wouldn't think they would do that anymore.
Probably not as much.
Not now, I think. Yeah, I think now it's a totally different story.
So what they have is they do very generic computer generation of what the scene would be.
Yeah.
And they have people, the voice actors and also promoters, take a look at that very rough draft. So that way those people know where it's going and have a general idea of what they're going for.
Yeah. What is it that you say you do here?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I'm gonna jump into another one too. So this is another arcade game. If you spent enough time in arcades like I did, you would see these all over the place. So I'm gonna play some clips from that. Let's see if you guys know what this one is.
Welcome to Cantorous Base. You're just in time for the party. I've arranged a dancing partner for you. Dance to the death!
Wow.
Thank you.
Dance to
Okay,
the death.
yeah.
Now it's time for you to die.
Your mission is to uncover the plan of the organization Cantaris. This is their headquarters. The hotel is actually a front for their weapons factory. This is their leader, also known as Cantaris.
They operate from the back.
What game is this?
This is the original Time Crisis.
Oh no!
It looked like a real fun rail kart shooter. It had a really interesting.
Those games were so cool.
I know it had the interaction with the pedal to stand up out of cover, and then when you went back into cover, it reloaded the gun, and it just was really an interesting concept for it. But the voice acting is just so bad.
Yeah, that's really bad.
And I'm standing there waiting in line to do another round of Dance Dance Revolution. I'm hearing this stuff in the background, and as soon as I saw this stuff and I was listening to these clips, man, it just like it puts me back in that arcade, and I'm just like, that's just thinking back at it. I didn't really think too much of it. It's just like, okay, it's the arcade game, whatever. I'm not really caring about it, but looking back at it, it's just like, man, it's just so bad.
And I'll say this. I'm seeing something here. So I feel the same way hearing that. It takes me back. So can it be said that we, although we hear what is very evidently bad acting, and yet we still like to hear it because it takes us back to reminisce.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's so bad though.
Way back.
Yes.
Back in the time.
That's what. But going back to what I said in the beginning of this, sometimes it's so bad it comes back to being good. And I think that's where it's.
How does that make
where it
sense?
comes from. It's just like a movie. Sometimes a movie can just be so bad
that you can't stop watching it.
Yeah, it's like a train wreck. You just can't stop watching. You're just like, this is so horrible, but I can't peel my eyes away. It's the same thing with this. We can't take our ears off of it. We just have to listen to it because it's so bad.
All right, you guys remember this game. I just know it. 1997. It's scary. What is it? What is it?
It's not just a poisonous snake. It's a monster.
What is that?
Any clue? I'll play another one.
We should start from the first floor, okay? And Jill, here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
Another bathroom recording.
And
Resident Evil.
And the only way I knew what that was because of the master of unlocking.
Oh man, it's so bad though. I mean, it sounds like they just don't care.
What about that jiggle sandwich?
Oh, I got that for you right here. Hold on.
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right. Barry, thanks for saving my life.
It almost sounds sarcastic. Like they don't like they know it's bad and they're still doing it in spite of the fact.
It's almost like
You're right. Barry, thanks for saving my life.
Thanks for saving my life.
But in all seriousness, I wonder if this is part of the voice actor's revenge against the poor writing of the game itself.
Could be.
Because we have noted that not only has there been bad voice acting, but there's been really bad writing in this as well. And by the time the script gets to the voice actors, the game is already well into production. It's not like they can ad-lib like some sort of Ryan Reynolds movie that they can just throw something together on the spot. They have to stick to the script. And if they can't do anything about that, well,
they end up becoming a jiggle sandwich.
Exactly.
No,
Jiggle. It does sound like he says jiggle.
You almost became a jiggle sandwich.
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
A Jill.
Jiggly. Jiggle sandwich.
Well, what you're saying, to be fair, Joshua, I do think it's got to be hard. It is hard to translate a story and like try to make it sound natural. So I do think the language barrier, like trying to do the whole translation thing, does provide an extra challenge.
Yeah, I mean the translation then is the issue, because then words will mean something different, of course, in Japanese, and then you want to use the same word here and you can't.
There's some words that it might translate to one thing, but it doesn't make any sense.
Makes no sense. So you have to rewrite it, and these writers are just like, I don't know, just Jill sandwich.
A jiggle sandwich.
Jiggle sandwich.
Jiggle sandwich. Be clear.
This house is too dangerous. There are terrible demons. Ouch!
Ouch! It's a monster!
I stubbed my toe. Ouch!
Oh my goodness.
There's a page missing.
Yeah, I thought about that too. Perhaps that was the most important part.
Page missing.
Yeah,
I
thought about that too.
Missing.
It's an important part.
I'm going to find out what caused Forrest's death. It looks like he was killed by a crow or something.
Or something.
A crow, huh?
Now, Jill, can you go?
I'm going with you. Chris is our old partner, you know.
It sounds like a really bad Western. It just sounds
recorded in a bathroom.
I thought I did hear some spaghetti in the background.
We're not going to let him go.
Don't you touch my spaghetti.
The game itself was cool. It was innovative. It was different. You hadn't done any other survival horror game like this. Actually, there was no other,
there was
right?
a few.
Okay.
The Alone in the Dark games
This
came
okay,
out.
that came before. That's right. So this was the one that kind of put survival horror on the map. And you know, the game was great. The story was decent enough, but with bad voice acting, I mean, can it be overlooked looking back? That's the real question, because it is a classic, but could you really get someone that's never played it before to really endure the bad voice acting?
That's a little toughy, because I mean, they just redid Resident Evil 2, and hearing some of that.
Did they leave the voice acting in?
No, they re-recorded it.
Awesome.
They re-recorded it, and they updated the game basically, And they really need to do that if they're going to bring back these older games to make it appealing for the younger audience.
And that makes me wonder, with the Shenmue coming out, that recent collection, it's all the original voice acting.
Yeah.
But then the voice acting is probably going to be a lot higher quality in the upcoming Shenmue 3 this summer.
So then you have from the 1 and 2 with the bad voice acting, and then 3 is going to step it up. That's a really bad transition, I would say.
I mean, that's just my guess. I haven't seen
it. Probably is going to be really good.
I know they're getting the original Ryo to reprise his role.
Oh, so it's going to be the same guy.
At least for the main character, yeah.
I wonder if he's going to step it up. It's pretty bad.
That'd be pretty awesome if he just kept it
the same. Stayed the same, and everybody else was like high caliber.
He never took any voice acting lessons and stuff. He's just going to be the same old Ryu.
Playing by ear. Speaking of which,
can you help me?
I don't know.
I understand.
Shenmue 2, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't let me sound disappointed here that you rejected my proposal.
Hey, you've got some time on your hands? Do you want to arm wrestle? Do you be your opponent? Each bet costs $40. If you win, you earn $40. How's that? You'll do it, right?
Got to give it up to Hank Hill for stepping it up and playing his role in Shenmue 2.
Who's Hank Hill?
Hank Hill from King of the Hill, popular TV show.
Do you want to buy some propane and propane accessories?
That was Hank Hill?
That was Hank Hill.
Yep.
That was.
And he was in this game?
Oh, you better believe it. That was not. I can't think of the name of the guy who does Hank. That's the guy who created Beavis and Butthead and
Mike Judge.
Mike Judge.
Yeah.
Mike Judge. Yeah, it was not Mike Judge.
And remember, this is Shenmue 2. This is after they've already done a game of full voice acting. They went and made this and said, "Yeah, this sounds right.
We'll keep it there. There's that bar. Why raise it? It's already low. Right there."
we get tripped over that bar. We might as well keep it down there.
It might have to do with the fact that the first one was really well received, and I wonder if it's like we can't raise the bar too high because it makes the old one look bad.
Yeah, that
maybe.
Might be
I don't know. Because it was revered as a classic.
Or it could just be, hey, step it up and be like, wow, this is so much better than the first one. Let's just keep playing this one over again.
Come on in. We buy everything from antiques to junk at a great price.
Dude.
Yeah,
dude.
Welcome to Good Burger.
I didn't know.
Home of the Good Burger.
Hey, at least this guy had some
at a
motivation.
Great price.
Yeah, he did have some motivation. He had a good day.
Tubular motivation. Quite tubular.
I didn't realize they had stoner surfers there.
In China? Are you serious? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the entire central China is all surfers.
Come on, Kyle. Come on, get with the times.
Everyone knows that.
Sorry, my bad.
All
happens.
central China.
Yeah.
All the center.
Do you have a minute?
No. Talk to me later. If I get caught loping on the job, the monk here really gets mad. I don't want to listen to his lectures.
All right. Sorry about that.
Don't want to be caught loping on job.
All right. Sorry. Peace out.
Sorry. I didn't want you to lope on job.
What's lope?
I don't. It sounds like you're saying loping on job.
Is he eloping?
I honestly couldn't make out that part.
He's loafing.
No.
Loafing?
I'm sure it's supposed to be loafing, but it sounds like, no. I don't want to be caught loping on job.
Talk to me later. If I get caught loping on the job, the monk here really gets mad.
Loping. I heard loping.
Loping on job.
I heard loping.
It's loping.
And the monkey's going to get mad.
Correct, the monkey.
His monkey's going to get mad.
In communist China, monks lope you.
That's a good meme.
Hey, kid, if you got time, try arm wrestling. He'll be your opponent. If you want to play, ante up $10. You can win $10. Want to try?
That's just creepy.
So you put down $10, and if you win, you get your $10 back.
Hey, kid, give me money.
Sweet.
We can arm wrestle.
I didn't ask to be photographed.
What did you say? Your face was asking. That's why I took the photo.
Your face was asking.
That's my favorite.
Was
clip.
that a challenge?
Your face was asking. I have to hear this again.
I didn't ask to be photographed.
What did you say? Your face was asking. That's why I took the photo.
I like the music in the background. It's all tribal or whatever. I don't have a memory of this game. I actually, because I didn't play it. That's why. I'm thinking back. I'm like, I don't think I played this one.
I'm actually playing through it right now.
Right now, while we're recording.
At this very moment.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. There's two sides to the brain. You don't understand that, right?
Memories.
You back again, you land shark? What evil plan do you have now?
No, I'm
not leaving this place.
looking for Li Xiaotao.
What would a punk like you want with Li Xiaotao?
Do you know him?
Li Xiaotao doesn't meet with land sharks.
I'm not a punk, and I'm not a land shark. Wait!
Get out of here! I'm not leaving here, even if I die!
What is a land shark in this?
It's a beer.
You're right. It is a beer. Not in this.
I think a land shark, I think, is like a slumlord. I think.
Yeah, trying to take over all the property from their...
Oh, maybe not a slumlord then.
With beer.
Well, they become a slumlord once they own all the property, but they're trying to sucker all the people out of their property by getting them to sell their homes at a cheap price.
For those that hear this and they don't know what land shark beer is, I think that's only in California. Now that I think of it.
Look it up, kids.
Look it up, kids. It's really good.
Hi, this is Ben, and I am producing myself as the next phase in another round of evil voice acting.
No, sir, I don't like it.
No, sir, I don't like it.
Too close.
Let's creepy more Humphrey Bogart.
Here's another one I was thinking about.
Oh my God!
Man, I like that one.
So Ben, what game do you have for us next?
Well, here's another one I was thinking about. One of my absolute favorite games. Seriously, like it's an old school run and gun for the TurboGrafx CD. It's actually originally, to some degree or another, made by a company that is now known as Wolf Team. Very popular for making the Tales of games.
That laugh was not real. That was definitely fake.
No, that
That's
laugh,
a fake
that
laugh
was straight from my toes all the way up into my hair.
We're trying to be in character here for the bad voice acting. Come on.
It was so bad it turned around being good.
Anyways, they got a lot of great people in this game. They got Kermit the Frog and various other people to reprise their roles in this particular game called Last Alert by Telenet.
Guy Kazama, if you don't want the hostage killed, you should keep quiet.
Guy, the stealth bomber is in the back of this factory.
Okay, Spartan, hang in there just a while longer.
It is fantastic that they were able to get Barney from The Simpsons, also reprised, who also did the role of Bobcat Goldthwait in the Police Academy movies.
Wow.
Yo!
What's going through their minds when they do that?
I wonder if they're like laughing during this. How could you not laugh?
Of course, this particular game, I get what I've heard, and maybe it's just theories, that they actually did do the voice acting in Japan, and they had people that had some understanding of English, but not quite enough.
So they know words, but they don't know how to...
They don't have a full
make
grasp
sentences,
of
really.
Like this clip right here.
You've shown me some fancy action here. The damages on this ship and the weapons aboard will come to $1 billion. People will hate you, Steve, if you're too stingy.
Now, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he meant stingy.
No, stingy.
Are you sure? I mean, when somebody is trying to gather money up and like they're trying to like...
Well, $1 billion is going to sting a lot in their wallets.
That is true. People might think he's a bit too stingy.
Pretty stingy.
But that's exactly what you were talking about earlier about the translation problems, where perhaps a Japanese voice actor who knows English may not understand the real pronunciation, especially with English language. It's kind of all over the place.
They don't. We have a stupid language, so stingy and stingy. It looks very similar.
Oh, that's where we get English from. We see all the memes all over the place of weird translation issues that are on like all advertisements. It's just what happens when you translate.
Why would a hireling soldier like you run such a risk to torment me like this? Why?
So we meet finally, Dr. Garcia.
Guy Kazama, you have foiled every one of my ambitions. You're going to have to pay for this. Guy, the Indira is just about ready now. I'm going to fly out to space in my shuttle to switch on the machine that will destroy the ozone layer. It's been fun. Farewell.
It's been fun. Farewell. Oh, sorry.
What?
There was a little bit more.
Which game is this? So I know never to touch it.
We all 4 beat it recently.
No.
Yes.
No.
Last Alert.
Oh yeah, that one. Oh, that's right. You did say this.
I think I missed that one.
Did you? No.
Yep.
Or I was checked out mentally for it.
You said you had fun.
Because I don't remember it either.
No,
Kind of.
you
I mean,
said
I
you
kind of remember, but
we didn't hear a lot of the voice acting. There was something.
We had the volume down for some reason.
I think there was.
I think there might be a reason for it.
I think the voice acting was too high. And, like I did some remixing and it didn't work well, and the voice acting was too high because it's a sound file that I can actually
mess with. And
yeah. I think that's what happened, or maybe it was. I can't remember. Maybe it was the music that was too loud.
So, out of all this that we've been listening to and looking back on, we have covered a good amount of really bad voice acting that was so evil and so bad that it is kind of good because we can look back and kind of laugh about it and appreciate nowadays voice acting. So, with that being said, I think we should do a round with us here talking about good voice acting.
All right. Well, I'll go first with mine. What I've really enjoyed, it's going to be a more of a modern game. It's the Zelda Breath of the Wild. They did a really good job portraying Zelda and all the different characters, the emotions that they had in it, and the urgency that you kind of felt, where you had to run to go do the next thing because you felt like the end was coming up.
Come to think of it, yeah, the intro movie did have voice acting with Zelda speaking, right?
Wait,
yeah.
No, I think you're getting it mixed up with the Faces of Evil on CDI. I think that's the really good.
No, I'm not talking about CDI.
That's the really good.
Nobody's talking about CDI.
I'm pretty sure.
Nobody ever will talk about CDI.
Or is the Wand of Gamelon, Zelda's Adventure?
No, I'm pretty sure this was on the Switch and it was Breath of the Wild. But thank you, Ben.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty positive.
Pretty sure.
Excuse me, princess.
And that would be the cartoon. Pretty close though.
Great, I'll get my stuff.
Excuse
So
me.
that's your honorable mention, Zelda Breath of the Wild
for the Switch.
And
not for the Wii U because that one has horrible frames in that one.
And the voice acting is horrendous. I don't know who they got for that one.
Jeez. You guys.
Dom DeLuise and Willie Nelson. I don't know.
Dom DeLuise.
Yeah.
As Zelda.
Yes, correct. Willie Nelson is all the Octorocks.
I think for mine, I would have to go with the Arkham series. It's a bit more recent as well.
Those are my favorite.
Yeah, and it's almost a little bit of cheating because a lot of the same voice actors from the animated series come on board, and
how is that cheating? That's great talent.
Because it's already established.
It's true.
They've spent years building these characters and portraying them. They know these characters even without just the slightest bit of knowledge of context. They already know how their character is going to act, to speak, to yell, to react to a stressful situation.
These actors know exactly what they're walking into here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cheaters.
Hey, but it's still good.
There's no cheat.
I like it.
They just threw a bunch of money at them, and that was that.
What about you?
I would have gone with the Arkham series, but I think it was a close call with Metal Gear Solid. And for me, David Hayter is my number one voice actor of almost all time as far as video games are concerned.
Yeah, when Snake's being tortured, the was so good.
Yeah, he did that very good. And then of course they changed it later on with Kiefer Sutherland, and he's a good actor. I mean, I guess. I mean, it
have you seen
felt
24?
Yeah, but it's a good example of just because you got someone who's really high up there in Hollywood or whatever doesn't mean that he can replace.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. Is that that's why I wasn't sure how to call him a good actor, because in this case, for voice acting, I think he's not good for that. I think he's good as an actor on screen and other characters, but as Snake, it's a little bit weird, especially going from David Hayter to anybody else, really. That's like
for so many games.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, here's Kiefer.
It's like, going from Kevin Conroy to anybody. It's hard to fill those shoes because of how high you've raised the bar. But in particular, I'm going to say the very first Metal Gear Solid for PS1, that was great voice acting by everybody.
This is solid. But I still have one response to that, though. Is that you're taking an accomplished, experienced voice actor and you're replacing him with someone who's not a voice actor. You mentioned that Kiefer Sutherland is an actor. And I remember from the first season of 24, I only watched the first season, but he is a good actor when things are exploding around him and he has to yell at everyone. He has to yell all of his lines.
Stuff has to happen.
We have to get over here.
Things
we have
are
to do
happening.
this. And it's a lot different when you're in an audio booth.
Trying to imagine stuff happening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to imagine all that, and if you're not used to that, it's not going to come out the same.
With the kind of role that is that he played in 24, the little bit that I know is very demanding as far as his facial expressions, action scenes, and it's not so much relied on voice acting in particular in those moments. So I totally see what you're saying about being suddenly into a booth, and it's like, well, I can only imagine all this.
Correct.
Ben, what do you got?
Well, my choice would be Ys 1 and 2.
Particularly 1 and 2 only?
Yes, 1 and 2. One of the earliest games with voice acting in general to ever come out, and they actually got professional voice actors from, they were in Transformers, G.I. Joe, Tenchi Muyo, various anime and cartoons, whatever, and Thomas Hayden Church. And they actually got Alan Oppenheimer, did a bunch of Transformer characters, but he did the narration in Ys 1 and 2, and I think he played the secondary, kind of the underling of the final boss. And just fantastic job, and even with such an old game, in days where people did not have good voice, like I said, it's like the local janitor. They say, "Hey, you want a gig?
Hey, you kid over here,
want a little extra cash?"
Just from an old great action RPG series that still exists to this very day. That's the Ys. Repeat, that is Ys.
Spelled Y-S.
Spelled Y-S.
Right.
It's not Ys. It's not Y-S. It's Ys.
What year did the first one come out?
The first and second one together came out on the TurboGrafx CD in 1990, I believe.
90. Oh. That must have been very early voice acting days.
Mm-hmm. One of the earliest.
Yeah. Good games. You gotta check it out.
And awesome music.
Yeah, I remember you told me all the music is really good.
Yeah, Falcom, all their games, and just the music, man. They know how to rock.
Literally.
Mm-hmm. They know how to rock.
Let's see, Josh. What do we got coming up?
So, as promised, we will be continuing on with our kind of sort of super reliable official timeline of the Super Mario Brothers. So, part 2 will be coming out next time. So, stay tuned for that. And then we also wanted to give a little shout out to C_Ron. He left us a review that says, "This podcast made me reminisce on games that I used to play as a child and also revisited classic games I used to play. I look forward to future episodes. Keep up the good work, guys. I enjoy hearing all the random facts as well that I would not have known otherwise."
Thank you, Captain Ron.
Thanks, C-Ron.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Captain Ron. Yeah,
so
that was a good movie.
so we invite everyone out there listening in on our podcast to leave us a review. Let us know what else you would like to hear from us about retro gaming topics. We're open to ideas, and we'd be happy to hear what you have for us.
And Damien, how could they get a hold of us?
That's a really good question, Kyle. They, as in you people. You people.
Who are you calling you people?
You people can drop us a line if you'd like to do the Instagrams. That is retro_game night. If you Twitter, it's at retrogamenight1. Our email, retrogamenight@hotmail.com. Give us your comments. Give us your questions. We'd love to hear from you. That's going to wrap things up for us tonight. Till next time, everybody, stay fresh.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Until next time.
Excuse me, princess.
Thank you, Dr. Wally.
Ricky Ricardo, everybody. That guy just, wow. Just don't even get up in the morning. Just